Hey everyone!
Welcome to After Hours here at Linda's Electric Quilters. We are
Yes.
so excited that you're here joining us.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Uh-huh.
What?
I know you're tired. You're going to speak up a little bit.
I know. I am
I'm
working
right
on
here.
that.
They're 3,000 miles away.
You know, when you have allergies, it's just really hard. It just kind of dims your throat. So if I am not loud at all for some people tonight, it's my allergies, but I will do my best. And so, yeah, we are so excited. We had so much fun last week.
We did. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice just to kind of step out of that professional comfort zone.
Yeah.
And see what we can do.
Is it working?
Yeah, we're good. We're there. It's just taking a second to buffer. But we're fine.
Cool. That's the funniest thing about live is you just never know.
You never know. Well, we have this multiple camera thing. It just takes a second, but it's a thing. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Good. Yeah, except actually, we kind of had a few rough days, right?
We did have a few.
Or a few 24 hours.
A few rough 24 hours. But before we go into that, always make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. So it's going to be right down there at the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that appears so you can get notified whenever we post new videos or whenever we go live.
Yes, exactly.
So what do I mean by rough 24 hours,
well, you know,
Dianna? Please inform the people, because it's just what I want to hear about again.
I know. Well, you know, one thing about being after hours with us is you might hear some stories sometimes, which we normally wouldn't do on the YouTube, you know, during the day. But, you know, since you're here with us after hours, this is when we think about those things, right? So Corey, my lovely son, FaceTimes me last night, and he's like screaming and crying, and I'm like,
Wait, whoa. She got to put all my business out there on First Street, just hanging up all my laundry to dry. I don't scream or cry, ladies and gentlemen, at all. A tear has never left these eyes. Okay, let me tell you. I was born quiet. Never cried. It was the best thing ever.
That is a fib.
No, never.
So, anyway, and at first I'm thinking, when he's on FaceTime with me, I'm thinking, is he like faking? Because he does do some pranks on me sometimes.
Okay,
sometimes.
Facts. But this time I was not crying wolf, people, okay? This was a real emergency.
Yeah, no, and then it took me a few seconds and I realized these were real tears coming out. And I'm like, what is going on? And he tells me he cut his finger with a saw. And all I can think of is he cut his finger totally off. So then I'm freaking out and I'm like, okay, show me your finger. And he's crying so much because it's in pain, obviously. He's not showing me his finger. And I'm like, you have to show me your finger so we know what to do. And then he finally shows me his finger, and of course it's just covered.
Gushing
and covered in
everywhere.
Stuff. We won't, you know, you probably just say so stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, this is real. You got to go in the bathroom, clean it off. I need to see it. I need to see the cut so I know what to tell you to do.
Yeah, 'cause she's been going to medical school on her lunch hour, apparently.
No, but I've been a mom for a long time, so I've
Facts.
seen a few cuts. So then he did, and I realized he did not cut his finger off. Thank goodness, because we kind of do need your finger for everything that you do. The quilting.
Who the heck is we? I need my finger.
And we can laugh about it now. It wasn't.
It wasn't funny at the time.
And so then he shows it to me. I say, clean it off, put some pressure on it. I'm on my way. Do you feel like you can drive across the street to the care now? Or if not, I'll pick you up. He's like, no, Mom. He's calming down. He's like, it hurts a lot. And he's still crying, but he said, I can get there. So he gets over to the care now. I'm rushing to get dressed because I was already at home relaxed and get dressed.
Living her best life.
Get down there. And of course, with all this COVID stuff going in, I couldn't go in. So I'm like, I just need to see my son. Is he okay? You know, tell me.
I could barely go in. I had to get questioned at the door. Stuff was gushing out of my finger. I got questioned at the door to go in. I don't care. Give me a mask and let me go.
I know. Yeah. I wasn't there when that happened.
Yeah.
But he was telling me, he had to go through. He's like, look at my finger. This is my illness.
This is what just happened. I need to go. And they were like, okay, come on.
So anyway, so he goes back. He gets sutured up. I'm sitting out in the parking lot freaking. And then he finally texts me and he says, Mom, they did x-rays. I'm doing okay. It hurts, but I'm waiting to see the doctor on the x-ray just to make sure it didn't cut through the bone.
Yeah, they were afraid that it hit the bone and damaged the bone. The saw blade did.
Yeah. So needless to say,
I will no longer be Bob the Builder.
No, he will not be
find
Bob the Builder.
somebody to be Bob the Builder for me.
No more saws in his future.
Because this is not a nice accessory, let me tell you. I mean, I'm all about making a statement, as y'all know, but it hurts. And no, I like to hold my quilting machine. See, I can't even do that. Look.
Yeah.
Didn't work at all. So, I'm very thankful. It could have been way worse.
Yes, it
way,
could have been.
way worse.
Yeah.
But yes, no more power tools for me for the next 24 hours.
For a while.
24 hours.
No, for a while. So anyway, now that you heard our story, I picked socks today that say, what did I say again? Oh, this is the...
She just got done posting them.
I know, no bad days. So for that, we're going to show our PJs off, and we are going to get started on what we're going to talk about today. Okay?
So head over there.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in. Thank you, thank you. Love seeing the comments, where you're from, where you're watching at. We appreciate it.
Yeah, come on over here.
I'm good right here.
Try with me.
I'm good right here. I'll
So
make
we
my
have
statement
my
separate.
little culottes on, pajamas, and then my socks. I love the socks. I'm going to have to show the socks. I know that's kind of odd each time.
You showed the socks. It's
Come
fine.
here,
It's a
show
little
yours.
burlesque show. It's fine. What am I doing? Oh.
Oh, you got your SpongeBob.
Woo! Told you I like to make a statement. Bam. Little SpongeBob joggers on. My balloon pants.
Yes, there he goes. All right, you guys, thanks for entertaining us. Hopefully you're in your PJs, relaxed, ready to watch. Make sure that you have your snacks. I actually went home today, felt bad, so I did bake some cookies for Corey.
Oh, thank you.
I don't do a lot of baking, but he got some homemade chocolate chip cookies today. And I made him a little skillet cookie so he could take home, put some ice cream on, and have later.
Oh, look
So
at her.
there you go.
She's so sweet, little Betty Crocker.
There you go. And it's all fresh because it was just about an hour ago.
Go team.
So while we're going to have our little quick snack and drink, and we're going to ask you a question so you guys can be talking together. So what were you going to ask?
I thought since she had done cookies, what is y'all's favorite dessert to eat?
Yeah.
Dianna, what would be your favorite dessert?
Chocolate chip cookies with ice cream or strawberry cheesecake.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
So you guys give a second, put in there with your comments what your favorite dessert is, and we're going to look at them, and we're going to take a bite of our chocolate chip cookie. And Summer, well, you can have a bite of yours too. Summer's over there in the background. She has hers.
Look at her, loving that chocolate chip cookie.
No
more saws, rotary cup. Rotary cutter is questionable for me too.
He was cutting fabric earlier today for the live, and I'm like, are you sure you should be using that?
I was like, I'm fine. She's like, that's what you said last night when you were at home. You weren't fine.
Oh.
So yeah, drop into the comments what your favorite dessert is and why we're doing that. And Dianna's snacking. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about what we're going to deal with today.
Okay.
So we're looking at backgrounds, designs, and shapes today. This is a book by Pam Clarke that we carry. All the supplies that you'll see in these after hours videos, unless we state otherwise, we do carry them on our website, and our website is longarmsupplies.net. And so what we're going to be looking at is how you're going to be doing different background fills, is what I call them in the computerized industry that I'm in, the little section of software that I use. But there are also background designs, and so we're going to look at how we can use those designs, and we can use certain stencils to work around our appliques on the quilt. So if you've got applique blocks, for instance, this Christmas tree, what designs can you do in the background of that?
Siri didn't
Listen, Siri, you're going to watch it too. Okay? You're going to learn about backgrounds and designs.
Okay, I got to put her in airplane mode.
It's fine, it's fine. So I can't give her nice things, y'all. It's fine.
You can't give me nice things, but you can't give him power tools.
Facts are facts, America. Facts are facts. So looking at working around those applique pieces, these trees, hearts, what were those things? I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you did?
Those things. I don't do it very often, but those things, y'all know what I'm talking about. The people know what I'm talking about.
Just basically anything.
So working around different pieces in the block, and so how you can stay continuously stitching, because as long as if that needle's not moving, you're not either one finishing that quilt or making money. Okay?
They are enjoying some stuff. So we got any kind of pie, chocolate, creme brulee. We got somebody, it's 1 o'clock in the UK and they're munching cookies. Thank you, Riley, for watching at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's dedication.
This finger didn't snap.
Oh yeah, let's stop trying to
I did this one. I was trying to go like that and it didn't work. It's fine.
Texas two-step ice cream with chocolate chip cookies. They must be from Texas. Oh, they are, because it's your nephew. So anyway.
People, I'm about to make this a one-person show.
All kinds of stuff. Yay.
So, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for entertaining us. And let's go ahead and hop over to the machine and let's see what background fills we can accomplish with this amazing background book.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Like I said, thanks for entertaining us. We like having fun in the afternoon, after hours, at the nighttime.
You didn't turn the camera yet. So we're just walking by. All right,
so Corey, I'm going to let you get started, and then I want to try something this time.
Oh,
well,
the person with the messed up finger, she wants to start first. It's fine.
Well, you're so good at instruction.
Oh, okay.
And this is new to me, so.
All right, so we are going to first look at, you good? We're going to first look at using this heart applique. And the way that I look at background fills is the way that they're kind of designed in the computerized world. So for a lot of you that are starting out brand new, the way these background designs work, we call them fill designs. And fills work basically where they start on the outside and they come into that applique piece, and then they use a little bit of that applique to do what we call stitch in the ditch, which is just following that same line of that applique or the already quilted piece to make it look like it's more or less disappearing into the ditch.
Now, I like how you're giving these basic instructions because we probably have people on here that just know nothing
Well,
about
you know,
quilting.
Summer got on to me last week about
did
this.
she?
She was watching us at home because she took the day off, and she said, "Corey, you were talking about flying geese. I have no idea what a flying geese is, or a goose, or flying, or nothing like that." She's like, "You got to go through it. The people need to know." And I was like, "All right, let me break it down," because I mean, it's stuff I do every single day, so I just don't think about it sometimes. But she's 100% correct that learning all these basic things will help you move and progress so much faster in this, and that's what we're here for. So these are going to be starting on the outside, stitching in, using a little bit of that applique piece to do the stitch in the ditch, and then they stitch back out, use this, stitch in the ditch, and back in. And they're going to do this all the way around in a circle, and it keeps you continuously moving, but it makes you use the least amount of stitch in the ditch around your applique, so you don't have to worry about that. Now granted, I would probably go back in and stitch around it to connect all those pieces, run right over so it looks nice on the back, but that's the fastest way to do it. So looking at that, we have a stencil. It's called a Basic 8 stencil, and what this is going to help me do is, one, it's going to help me find the center of the block, which is not super worrisome for me because I don't want to stitch over the applique, but it helps me find these corner pieces and gives me these nice little dotted lines that I'm going to use pounce powder on.
And this is a 9-inch one, right?
This is a 9-inch, yeah.
Okay.
We have a 9-inch and a 14-inch. And I'm just going to press in the center of this once I get those marked lines to their corners. Press and hold in the center, and then just lightly chalk over this line. And these stencils have a little bit of a rougher edge on one side. So you'd place the side with the sticker, so this sticker right here, that sticker faces downward. And that allows the top side, or the bottom side, I guess, has the rougher side to it. So it allows it to catch this powder. So it just gives us these nice little lines, just like that. And the faintest line is fine. You don't need anything super crazy.
Yeah, because it's just more for a guide,
right? It's just to kind of keep you in guide. Now, if you don't have these and you're wanting to start working immediately, you could use a ruler and just chalk pencil it out. But these give you that nice little guide, and then they brush off or wash away depending on which one you use. Okay, so let's look at our background designs and shapes book. So this book is filled to the brim with all sorts of different designs, but the one I want to put around this heart, let me find it. I probably should have bookmarked these. That's what a professional would do. But it's fine. We're after hours. We're not professionals here. At least when it comes to that. Here it is. So I want to look at these, basically this kind of like peacock feather. I'm going to use this one that has a couple more echoes on it, which basically means the line just comes back and forth over it, and it just extends out a little bit just to kind of give it a little depth and dimension. And so you're starting mainly with one little teardrop, and then you're building on that and then moving on to the next one. So in this book, it shows you mostly how these patterns start stitching on the left and ending on the right. You're using this more or less just as a design tool for yourself. But since we talked about the easiest way to work around an applique is around it in a circle, we're going to start here and just kind of stay within our little guidelines to make sure we're keeping everything nice and spaced even.
Or if they were using that just as a basic background, like in a straight sash
or
something
for
like
anything,
that, then that start to end would be perfect.
That would work as well, yeah. So I'm going to always start in the corner because I always want to start in the ditch, basically, so that you can't see your start and ends. I got that, thank you. And I am using a very contrasting thread just so y'all can see it. Normally I would use something that would blend in with the background to do that background fill. Most of the time, just depends.
Ooh, when I do mine, it's going to look bad.
So I'm going to start it up. I am in stitch regulated mode. So we're just going to start up, come out here, start with a little tight piece, and build on that.
In a stitch regulated mode, it just basically means that they're keeping the stitches at the same length.
Yeah, keeping the stitches equidistant and even. Doing nice little purls. So that one's more of a roundy one. That's okay. That's fine. Doing here, here, here. I'll come over with one more. And then I'm going to use a little bit of that applique to do stitch in the ditch. and then I'll work this way. So this is just building on those, and you can make it a nice little tight teardrop like that. And we're just kind of working our way back until we can get to the edge of our block. And we can fill it any way we want to. That's the best thing about freehand. You can make up the design as you go. And once we get to that side point, we can drop down a little bit and add another one. And just basically just using those guides to give me something to follow through to. And you can work around it, you can work towards it, whatever works for you. And I'm going to make this a little bit more open so you can see different densities. You can make it as tight as you'd like to. Use a little bit of that to do stitch in the ditch and continue on. And that one touched it, so it gives it just a little bit of a different dimensional look. Come over here. And I'll stop over here at the corner. We can do something different around it. A little tight teardrop here. And ending off in our corner piece here.
So you're using white pounce powder, right? So we're using, or is that blue?
I'm using a blue one right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a question about what color you were using. So we're using blue, and they said, how do you remove the blue? There used to be a really good product out there called So Clean, but it's been discontinued.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you don't pounce too hard, you've been able to kind of just wipe it off, right?
Right, I can wipe it off. I'm also at the edge of my chalk pencil, as long as it's not super pounced on, it'll erase it just like it erases the chalk off the fabric.
So an eraser pen would work.
So an eraser pen, eraser pencil, a little bit of water, spritz.
But if you use the actual white, it actually will iron off.
Yes. Yeah, the blue and the pink are wash off or kind of erase off. The white one, well, I mean, it will also wash off as well, but it's mainly made for iron off designs. Okay. So just like that, I can use the edge of it. Comes right off just like that too. So I'm not pouncing super hard. And you never really have to pounce super hard. It's just a guideline to follow, and that's it.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So you're going to show another design, or you want to keep going with that one?
I'll switch it up around the block. It's fine. See what else I got in here I can play with. Let's look at doing maybe just some lines, some wavy lines. Okay. Kind of using that up to and using it to our advantage. Now, with wavy lines, you would want to make sure they are staying directional with the way that your block is. You could go against the direction, but most of the time you want to stay directional with it. For this one, we're kind of in this triangle portion right here. So I'm actually going to go this way, and we're just going to do little wavy lines, and this is going to show you kind of more or less that stitch in the ditch as well. So let's grab this thread up, tie off, and I'm going to come up a little bit, and I'm just going to do a wavy line to a point, and wavy line back, a little bit of stitch in the ditch, wavy line to a point, wavy line back.
Let me get over to... I've been so busy watching you like this, I didn't even realize the camera wasn't really on the...
Well, come on now.
I know.
It's fine.
Okay,
good?
Go ahead.
All right, so wavy line, point, wavy line back, a little bit in the stitch in the ditch, wavy line here, wavy line back. And you can do that all the way up. And this adds just a little bit of texture to that background.
I like that.
I like the movement that it gives it.
Yeah, and that's easy because you know where you're going to stop and go to, and like you said, your stitch in the ditches, or if you're at the side of your block or wherever.
Yeah, however you want to do it. I'm just using a little bit of that stitch in the ditch there, coming to a point. Sometimes I'm not. That's the beauty of freehand. I'm trying to accomplish this one-handed. And I'm just going to go to this part of the triangle here, up, here, up, here. Looks like stripes.
Yeah.
And then you also have the ability, that's just one way, but if you also want to make it look more or less like a wavy crosshatch, once you do them all the way across one way, you could come back with a wave to a point and wave it back up. I'll finish this one off and we can move on to the next block. So it's super fast, super easy.
Cool.
Makes it work. So that gives it a little bit of texture. Like I said, you wouldn't necessarily be using such a contrasting color. You would use something that would blend in more or less. The Micro Quilter by Superior is a great thread to use for background quilting. Blends in really, really well. Actually, Summer, can you grab me a spool of that so they can see what it looks like? Thank you. But that will help blend in that background as well. It's a really nice thread to use.
Okay. So we want to move on to the
You want
star?
to bounce onto the star, and it's your turn now.
For the star?
Yep. Or do you want to do the tree? No, you want to do the star because you had the star design you liked.
Okay.
Okay,
we'll see
maybe
how
not.
I do.
Thank you. But this is the Micro Quilter that I was talking about. It's 100 weight, so it's super thin, and it just disappears into the background. It's a great, great thread to use for background quilting. Yeah. Thank you, Summer.
You will have to adjust your tensions on some of your machines too, though, for that. So, but it is a good one. But if you want to show up a little bit more, anything you use is great.
Yeah, anything you're going to use is great. Just little tips. What would you like me to do in the star? Another design, perhaps? Let's do something that works all the way up and back down, so we can touch different points.
We'll see.
You want to do something? Oh, oh, this is on you. Okay, you do it. All right, she's ready to sit down.
Well, I was thinking I would probably do something pretty easy for me.
Okay, we'll do something.
So kind of something like this.
Whatever you like.
So, can they see it okay?
Which one, the bottom one?
Yeah.
You just push it up somewhere. There you go.
All right, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to try to do something like this around the star, and we'll just see how it turns out. Hopefully Corey will be in the background guiding me along. So can I just kind of chalk this one, or
you can do whatever you would like. You can do whatever you would like. There's multiple ways to do it. There's not just one way.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to think real quick how I want to start and go back.
Well, remember, working around in the circle is the best way to do it.
So like this
like
direction?
That, yep. Or either direction. It's just easier to work that way, so you're using less of your applique.
Okay, I think I'll start up here.
So while you're doing that, we had a question, what's the best way to tie off when you're done? There's multiple different tie-offs, but there's mainly two tie-offs. You can either tie off with your machine by doing multiple single stitches very close together. That'll tie off maybe 7 or 8, really work well. You also have the ability of tying and burying your threads. We have a video on our YouTube channel showing you how to do that. You can leave those ends open, you can tie them into a knot, and then bury the threads into the fabric, which we'll do that another
Yeah, and
episode.
I can tie off when I'm done with the star.
Yeah,
just
also,
to show
yeah, give them an idea.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get closer. He's far back from me. Okay, so let me pull up.
So what Diana's doing right there is she just did 3 stitches, which was the beginning part of her,
Sorry.
tie off, knock the camera, it's fine. They wanted to be dizzy. All right, and then she's gonna try and stitch her little flower here.
Okay, we'll see. And I was just using this more of a guide.
Yep.
And I already just kind of went away from what I was doing.
I was like, weren't you doing the circle first?
I know. Yeah, that's what I need to do first.
There you go. So what she's coming in here with is she's coming in kind of with a long tail, and then making that circle purl, and then just adding basically some clamshells, more or less, around that. And that's going to build her flower around this star applique that we're working on. And she's keeping this very nice and open. Look how fast she's going with this all the way around it. It's super easy.
Wow, you are really a good commentator, because there is no way I could be telling them what I'm doing, why I'm doing it.
Oh,
so thank
years
you very
of practice. So she's going in, just making those little clamshells around that purl and just continuing on. She is in the stitch regulated mode while that's happening. She's just going to go up and do that little portion there all the way around.
So this is kind of a really easy beginner like technique as I'm talking. See how I have to stop?
Yeah, you
Corey's the professional.
Yeah, that's fine. So she's just working around that. A lot of these, the way this book is designed is it starts out with more easy beginner walk-into designs, and then as you work out of it, losing you with the handle. You just keep doing what you're doing. I got it. As you move through the book, then you get to be in more advanced designs and more textured designs. But it's all about the density that you add to it. You can add, those flowers the way she's doing it, or if you want to do 1 or 2 flowers, it's all about the best part of freehand is how you want to make it look. It is your design. So she's just working around that.
A couple flowers like right here.
Yeah, you could do 2 or 3 in that little triangle portion there, and then go to your next piece.
I'm having fun. I might not stop.
That's the beauty of it. All the way around. Look at that. Just looking so, so good. Just going to head all the way this up around, and you can add as many or as little as you would like.
Yeah, I could do, like, if I wanted a little small one. This is just a sampler, so I can just play around. And that's what's fun, is you can actually just take fabric, right?
Honestly,
just
the
play
best thing I
around.
would do is, I know a lot of you have already purchased the background designs book in preparation for this show, and you're probably quilting along with us right now. But throw on some muslin, throw on some really cost-effective fabric for you, and just stitch out these designs and just grab your inspiration, because really the biggest thing is building that muscle memory. I mean, you could sit there and do those flowers around and around and around and around, and you will get that design, and pretty soon you'll be doing it in your sleep. Ask me how I know.
All
Wake
right.
up drawing stuff.
Should I finish it off? Or?
Sure, I mean, you're already 3/4 of the way. You might as well. And while you're doing that, let me look at comments.
Okay. It's definitely harder when the arm is farther back.
Yeah.
It's set up for Corey's length arms, not Mommy's length arms.
Well, sorry. I normally do most of the quilting, so.
That's true.
So she's just going around filling in that section just to do those simple background designs, and I think she's doing a phenomenal job. What do y'all think? I think she's doing great.
Well, we know that I might be able to do this on a quilt, so that's the best. That's good.
It's
All right,
amazing.
so we'll show the tie off.
Yeah,
real
so go ahead and
quick, 'cause
show
I do know how to do that.
Show your tie off.
So I'm basically just going to stitch it right around that thing a few times. You can do as much as you want. Then I'm pulling it up like that.
Get your hands all in the way. Here, let's switch your buttons.
Oh, yeah, I guess we
There's
can do
your
that on the
single
vision.
stitch, do the D.
All right, so I've done that, and now I've got my thread. That's the most important part, is to pull your thread out like that, and you can pull it out farther if you need to. Then you'll stitch, and if you look real close, it's pulled up my other thread for me.
Perfect.
So
And
then you
before
just
you
cut
cut those, actually, well, hold on. Here's another thing. Before you cut those, you will find that bobbin thread that you just pulled up and give it a nice little tug. That pulls the loop up from the back and locks it into the fabric, so you don't have that loop on the back.
Good little tip there.
I'm just saying.
I didn't know that.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Okay, so that was the beginner. Now let's go over to the tree, and let's see what you can do with the tree. Do about 2 more designs out of the book so they can get an idea.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what you want to show, so I'll let you take over.
I might actually want to show one of these back here in the back. I love this ribbon candy. Where are we at camera-wise?
Oh, let me come over.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that ribbon candy would be pretty on
Love
the tree
the ribbon
too.
candy.
Okay, I'm coming down. Sorry, folks, we're moving this. Okay, we're good.
Okay. So for my final design here, this is kind of based in more or less a checkered board print. So I could take a straight edge ruler, any kind that I'd like, or I can use the different inch stencils that we carry as well. So you can pounce it out with powder.
Okay.
I'm just going to use this straight edge because I have markings here that I can follow. And I probably want to make those, we good?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I can figure out exactly, how big my block is. It's about a 10-inch block. So I'll do 2-inch squares. So I'm going to come right through here, go up 2 inches, just right over that applique. The chalk's not going to hurt it. And bring this all the way up.
And you actually just used the Statler to put the applique on, right?
Yes,
sewed right on top.
it's actually a good thing. This is what we call reverse applique. So I laid another piece of fabric on and stitched down something, and then I came in with scissors and just cut around that fabric. Now granted, that's going to be on the back of the quilt, but reverse applique is also a really cool thing. I like it. And it helps me put things on here really, really quick for you.
Riley had a good tip. She said try attaching a GoPro on the side of the machine so you can see the stitching. We haven't tried that.
Yeah, we haven't
We've tried a few
tried a
things, and
GoPro.
it vibrated
It
on
just
you. We
vibrates
didn't
a
want it to
lot.
vibrate to death, but
Yeah.
we might be able to
It's a
try a
good idea.
GoPro once.
Yeah.
Thanks for the little tip.
No problem. Why am I saying no problem like I said the tip? She said the tip. Thank you. All right, I'm going to start down here at the corner. And for this one, I'm just going to work back and forth around this piece. So I'm going to start here.
Now let me move down. Ooh,
Oh, I know.
I'm trying to get down farther so it's closer. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. do my tie-offs, and I will start up the machine. And for this one, basically what a ribbon candy is just you are going back and forth. I'll draw it right here. You're just going back and forth like this. And then when you get to the end of that square, if you want to keep the same direction, you can, or if you want to change direction, you can do that as well. Whatever you'd like to do. This is a really easy one to do and really fast.
Well, and that helps by marking it that way, whether you use that or a stencil. That's a
Right.
good idea. To kind of keep your, so you don't go too high on the loops.
Right.
Because if I didn't have that, I could see like going too big.
Right. So just back and forth. Ooh, popped out of my block there a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to actually come up to this one now, since I'm already here. And then we will work our way through to this one. It's all about just a bouncing game. But this is a really easy one to do, and just marking it out with your chalk pencil and your straight edge will really help you. Uh-oh, caught myself in a corner there. See what I did? All right.
Well,
What'd I do
your
there?
tie-off stitch.
Nope.
What would you do? Oh, go.
I'm just going to stitch this. I'm going to stitch in the ditch. I caught myself in a corner. I went down, and I have nowhere else to go.
So this isn't really good to show them because
Yeah.
you know I
So
would
normally
make
I
a
would
mistake
have
all
a-
the time.
Normally I would have a ruler base on, so I could use my template easier. But this is just quick, following around my applique right in the ditch, and that brings me up to my next square. So I can just keep on going.
That way you don't have to tie off or anything. Okay,
Yeah,
good
exactly.
idea.
And I'll fill in that little section later. Okay, and then head this way. Don't want to run into my stencil. Round and around. Head up. Really easy one to do. And head over here. I'm going to work down here. I'm going to come in and fill that other section in later. There we go. And this is just this way, all the way around. Yeah, since I'm already here. And I am just easing my way around with this ribbon candy design. Moving all the way through this.
That was a little big.
But yeah, that one was a little large. And this is where I caught myself again.
I want to have too many chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, that one's had too many chocolate chip cookies. So I'm working my
There's
way
never
around.
too many cookies though, right?
And I'll just ease into this one. I'm gonna fill this one in.
Oh, that's cool.
Now that one I kind of caught myself in a little bit, but I'll just move in it. Follow my ditch maybe. Work around it again. It's all about working with it.
Or you could tie off and go over.
Or I could tie off and go over it. That's right. And then,
Perfect.
oh, you changed my buttons. It's throwing me off.
Who changed the buttons?
Well, I changed it for the people.
Yeah.
The people changed the buttons.
So we had a question on shipping time. We actually ship within 24-hour business hours.
Business hours.
So we get stuff out really fast. So
Yeah. So then let's just take an overall look at what we've accomplished with that. Just doing a nice little basic ribbon candy. I really love a ribbon candy. I don't know what it is about it. It adds really nice texture to the quilt. And like I said, it doesn't matter if these aren't perfect and equidistant. I mean, who said anything really had to be perfect? Honestly,
well, and most
that's
people
what's
aren't
so
gonna,
much
and
fun
you're not
about
using
it.
contrasting thread.
Oh
Do you
yeah, of
normally
course you're not
quilting?
using contrasting thread either.
So we're going to show you the finished
okay.
product, and we'll go up and finish this off.
So it was a finished project, and then of course my heart, where I got a little dents in those designs, so I stopped half of it, so I'll have to finish the other half. Y'all can see next week what we're looking at. But just easy background design, something really nice and fun to follow, just like that. All right,
You want, Corey, while you're back there real quick, you want to show a close-up of the book, and so if they're online looking, they can see the picture too?
Oh, yeah. So this is the book that we were using today, Backgrounds, Designs, and Shapes.
And then maybe the stencil too, one more time, what it's called?
This was the Basic 8 stencil that we used. You can type in Basic 8 and it will pull up Basic and then the number 8. and then we used pounce powder as well.
Yeah, and so the batting that is most commonly used is going to be like your 80/20. We have the black 80/20 in that one, and we always throw an 80/20. It's the most probably economical batting, but it's a really nice batting. So it's the Hobbs 80/20 is what we probably use the most, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially if you're just doing quick customer quilts, things like that. Of course, there's a whole array of batting, and we'll have to do a video on that one day.
Yes.
But do you guys have any other questions? That was fun. These are fun.
Yeah, I like freehanding. I honestly do. I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, you know, and then I get to learn too. You know, it's hard for us to like take a break sometimes to get out there and just play and learn.
It's not very common we can get out here and just play. So it is. I mean, because we're very busy with our online stuff and other videos and all sorts of different avenues and new things coming out that we're always super excited about. So it is fun to get out here and just hang out with y'all after hours and just chill.
So if you were late coming on, this will record. It'll be on YouTube. It'll take a few minutes to do the final post, but it'll be there. We did have somebody wanted us to show a picture of the book again real quick, so I'm going to go grab that.
While you're doing that, I might as well just show off this real quick.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This past week, quarantine has made me very productive, ladies and gentlemen. And so I've gotten to get a lot of UFOs, some unfinished projects done.
Yes, you have.
And
some of my unfinished projects
most
done.
of them are hers, yes. And this one, you want to come over here and hold the other side?
Yeah, of course.
This was one that my mom always wanted me to finish for her. So this is a Dream Big Dance, and
Summer just doesn't know what to do.
Cousin just got to tell us what to do.
Okay, I can't go much higher.
Okay, as long as we get most of it. But this is the Aurora Dream Big Dance, and Mom actually designed the pattern, or she told me what she wanted. Hold on. She told me what she wanted and said make it work.
I know. I said, he was coming up with something else. I'm like, no, I want something different. He's like, what? So I tell him, he goes, that's a little bit of work. I'm like, yeah, but it'll be worth it. And it really turned out worth it.
They can see the stitching a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it looks, it's really, really cool. Used a nice variegated thread on it, and it turned out just amazing. It's funny, just that little simple quilting.
Can you see anything in the back? Oh, let's show the back because I can show.
I think we can barely see it okay.
Well, they might be able to see the definition too from the back.
Okay, Cousin said you can see it. Cool. But yeah, all points go to the center, but it was just a nice little wavy line.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was fun to do. No problem. Finished it for you.
Now he gets to bind it for me.
Whoa, hold on. No, I'm going to call Grandma for that.
It's a family business.
It is.
So.
All right. So like we talked about again, our website, www.longarmsupplies.net.
Oh, we have a code for them.
You should, yeah, and that should be popping up at the bottom for you. Maybe. Hold on, Summer's looking at me weird. Let's see.
While they're getting the code put in there, here's a picture of the book again. This background designs and shapes, and we will get the link put in underneath the video. But we also want to make sure that you guys that are watching after hours, we really appreciate you taking your time and watching.
Oh, darn
it. We've got a code there.
Kind of thumbs up, y'all. There we go.
We got you a code to save 20% off of any of the books.
Yes.
We will be eventually going through every single Pam Clarke book and eventually Linda's books too. But we're going to do Pam Clarke's. And this is our next week's book.
So this will get you going on next week. Next week, we're going to look at 9 patches.
Yay.
I love a 9-patch quilt. They're super easy to piece because I am not a huge piecer. Let's be real. Let's be honest. We're gonna talk to each other at 7:30 at night. So basically what 9 patches are, they're 3 by 3 little squares pieced together, and they end up looking like a 9.
Yeah.
9 patch, not like a 9, the number.
I was like, I've never seen the number.
A 9 grid. Looks like a grid of 9 squares.
Yeah, I was looking, thinking, I'm like, oh, I need to look closer.
I've never seen a 9 before. No, it doesn't. It looks like 9. It's been a long day. Okay, it's after hours. I can be crazy. But we're going to go through and look at so many different designs and how it's okay to cross those piecing lines. Because whenever you're starting out, you're really afraid, I don't want to cross over those piecing lines. I want to stay right in this little section.
Yeah.
Which really trips up a lot of people, both hand-guided and computer-guided. Yeah. It is okay to cross those piecing lines to make that design look absolutely gorgeous on that block and really make it shine. So that's what we're looking at next week.
We had a quick question. What weight thread do you like best for machine quilting? And I would say just for overall, we're probably looking at the 50 weight, 40 to 50 weight. When you call it text, it's 30 to 40
So that's something else we need to talk about real quick.
Okay.
That's a little bit of, not really a misconception, but there's a lot of questions about that.
Okay.
So in the quilting world, when it comes to thread, we look at text. So it's TEX, and that's a number. So the smaller the number in the text, the thinner the thread. The thicker the number, thicker the number. Goodness, I need to go to bed. The bigger the number in text is the thicker the thread, okay? But in the sewing world, we look at weight, which are opposite.
Yeah, very confusing.
Very confusing. So when you're looking at threads, you'll see those different numbers, but in text perspective, the higher number, the thicker the thread, which is opposite from weight. So personally, if we're looking at weights of threads, we're looking at a 40 or 50 weight is the most common thread that I'll be using and that we'll be using in the shop. And the most that go out of our door would be that size. If we're looking at text, it'd be a 30 or 40 text.
Correct. Yep. So on our website, you'll see weight and text, and it's because that manufacturer gave it a text call or gave it a weight definition. But that tells you the difference between them. And we can have a whole nother conversation.
That'll be a whole nother late night conversation on threads. That'd actually be a good one.
Yeah.
We can go through all the threads so you can see really what Summer's over there. Like, yes, please, I would love to know. People call me all the time. I want to know.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's let these people get to enjoy the rest of the night.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. We love being here with you after hours. I hope you enjoyed some of the background designs and shapes that we had to bring to you.
Yeah, and hopefully you're okay with us being goofy and we just have fun. This is our time to have fun.
I have a broken finger.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay.
Well, you got a chewed up broken finger.
I have a chewed up broken finger. It was way too jagged for stitches.
Yeah, but you're going to go home and have some dessert and relax.
Good team. So, alrighty, y'all. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Always make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, and we will see you next time.